The White House celebrates Lesbian Visibility Week with the cast of the L Word.
So this week is Lesbian Visibility Week, and as the first openly queer person to hold the position of press secretary for the President of the United States, I see every day how important visibility and representation are. Today, I'm honored to welcome the cast of the L Word and Generation Q, two Showtime series that chronicle the friendship, the love, the challenges, and the triumphs of strong, funny, and resilient queer women. Up here with me are the amazing, talented actresses who play those very roles. Jennifer Beals, Leisha Hailey, and Katherine Moennig, and the show's co-creator, writer, and executive producer, Ilene Chaiken.
The L Word Generation Q cast visited the White House on Tuesday and spoke alongside Karine Jean-Pierre, the first openly gay White House press secretary for Lesbian Visibility Week. Actress Jennifer Beals, Leisha Hailey, and Katherine Moennig, and series co-creator and executive producer Ilene Chaiken joined Jean-Pierre during a briefing. Afterward, the cast met with LGBTQI plus staffers of the Biden-Harris administration to talk about our administration's work to advance full equality for our community. A 2019 reboot of the original series, The L Word, that ran from 2004 to 2009, The L Word Generation Q follows a group of friends who identified as LGBTQ in Los Angeles. During the briefing, Jean-Pierre said, quote, "As a young queer woman of color, I felt alone and sometimes invisible. For so many people in our community, the L Word's impact cannot be understated. This week is a testament to how far we've come and the work that remains to advance equality to all people," end quote. The White House press secretary then gave the podium to Chaiken, who reflected on the impact of both the original and rebooted series. Hailey also took to the podium, recognizing outstanding individuals within the LGBTQI plus community. I think that this is a great showing on our current administration of the support that they have for our community. And also, I really like the fact that there was a reminder that even though this was very visible for our community and this shows great support on our current administration, that there's still work that needs to be done. And we were just talking about that, in the prior story about all the work that has to be like a multi-focus work. We need to, partner up with organizations and people who are also being targeted, like, the people in the Black community, Hispanic, the minorities communities. We also need to come together to really make a difference.
I think one of the things that hit me immediately, because you go back 2.5 years ago, you never would have heard the words that they spoke with the administration's LGBTQ inside the administration. Like 2.5 years ago, that was all wiped out. There was no representation that we're aware of that was strong LGBTQ in government, in the top level of government. And so here we've got an administration that's embraced, has the first lesbian press secretary. I mean, it's pretty impressive that we've seen this come back into the White House.
We continue to see the Biden administration do a lot more work for our community than any other administration in the past. And, he stands there pretty tall without fear, because he knows that every conservative on the block wants his head, Right. And he stands there and says, we're going to invite the L Word cast for Lesbian Visibility Week. And I tell you, as a lesbian, this makes me... What? As a lesbian, it makes me so proud to see these women representing. It makes me so proud to see, Karine do her thing. She's fierce. And in the face of adversity, women, we take a back seat to many movements. We take a back seat, in terms of credit, not in terms of action, but in terms of credit, we're kind of invisible, right? But we're the loudest voice in the room always, and we're the fiercest one. And I think that it's really important that we recognize and celebrate Lesbian Visibility Week. This is a fantastic.
And what a great way to do it with the L word. I remember when the L word first came out, I was all about it. I was like, finally, some of our stories are being told, and the complexity of the stories and the relationships of women are finally like on the big
And
screen.
it's hot,
and
and
we're told,
it's sexy.
right? And it's really hot women, and there's these great scenes, you know. So, I thank them for it. I thank Ilene Chaiken for creating the show. I think it's been great for lesbians.
But this is also the one show that really has brought lesbians to the forefront, because I always said that lesbians are the invisible tribe, because when we have events that are gay, I used to help run the rodeo. Lesbians were nowhere to be seen. It was the hardest part of the demographic to get involved in rodeo unless they were actually competing. We had no problems finding competitors, but we had a hell of a time getting lesbians to volunteer and getting them to, help. And it's just because, I think for the longest time...
We're too busy protesting.
Yeah. But I also think that, it was a sign that, we have to work together to bring our community together. And we have to find those opportunities. I mean, how many lesbian bars are there? That's the hardest bar to find anymore.
Well, there aren't many.
Anyone want to take that one on? It's an easy.
Yeah. But that's what excited me about this whole story was it's like finally they're getting the spotlight that they should have on a regular basis, not just on a special week.
I believe the Biden administration is a true believers. I really do. He was out ahead of Obama back in 2008 or 2012, whenever. So he is a leader, but there's also a certain amount of political calculus and a political benefit to this. So, it's like for the same way, all conservatives running for president need to kind of shore up, all the militias out in the middle of Idaho and Montana. This administration knows it needs to solidify its support and make sure that we all get to the ballot box next year. So bringing this together. And the fact is, I love Karine. She's wonderful. She is Black, female. I believe she identifies as female. I apologize if I'm misusing her pronouns, but Black, female, and queer. That is the Republican triple trifecta of hate. And somewhere, he's not on television anymore, but somewhere Carl Tuckerson's head is exploding, and I'm here for it.
All right.
LGBTQ+ news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ+ community.